Hey there, coin enthusiasts. Ever thought you could be holding a fortune in your pocket change? Well, today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing coin stories out there, the 2009 Lincoln Memorial Penny Presidency coin. You heard that right, a penny worth a whopping $1.8 million. Yep, I'm not kidding. So, if you've got a few old pennies stashed away, you might want to stick around. This could be life-changing. Now, before we get into the juicy details, let me just share a quick story. Picture this: a few years back, I was rummaging through my old coin jar, the one where you toss all your loose change and forget about it for a decade. I pulled out this shiny penny, gave it a glance, and thought, neat. Little did I know, I was probably holding onto something worth more than my car. True story, I didn't realize it until much later. And that's why you should never underestimate the power of a penny. Alright, let's break this down. The 2009 Lincoln Memorial Penny Presidency coin is part of a special series celebrating Abraham Lincoln's bicentennial. The U.S. Mint released 4 different designs that year, each depicting a different phase of Lincoln's life. The presidency coin, our star today, represents Lincoln's years as the 16th president. It's a beautiful piece, featuring the iconic image of the U.S. Capitol, still under construction. Kind of symbolic, right? Just like Lincoln building a nation, the Capitol was being built brick by brick. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and a little bit of luck. Most of these pennies aren't worth much more than face value, but if you've got one in pristine condition, preferably uncirculated, and with a high grade, you might just hit the jackpot. There are even rumors of error coins, like doubled dies, that make collectors go wild. If you happen to spot any doubling on the lettering or details, you might be looking at some serious cash. Let's talk about the mint marks. These pennies were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The mint mark itself can be crucial. If you've got a San Francisco mint mark, that little S on the coin, it's usually a proof coin, often in much better condition. The Denver minted coins with the D mark are also sought after if they're in pristine condition. And if you're lucky enough to stumble upon a rare variation, well, let's just say you might be booking that dream vacation soon. Always check for luster and strike quality. Coins that are sharply struck and still have that fresh from the mint shine are the ones collectors drool over. Imagine finding a penny that looks brand new, despite being over a decade old. That's what collectors are after. A friend of mine once found one of these in his pocket change while getting coffee. He thought it was just another penny, until he did a little research. Turns out, his penny was one of the well-preserved ones. Let's just say his morning coffee run turned into a coin appraisal session. And yes, he was a little more careful with his change after that. Alright, folks, there you have it. The 2009 Lincoln Memorial Penny Presidency coin, a humble penny that might just be your ticket to financial bliss. Next time you're digging through your change jar or that random pile of coins on your dresser, take a second look. You never know, you might be holding $1 million penny. If you enjoyed today's coin adventure and want to learn more about the hidden treasures lurking in your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more coin tips and stories. Who knows, your next find could be the one that changes everything. Stay curious, keep collecting, and I'll see you in the next video. What if I told you the penny you dropped under your car seat last week could be worth more than a luxury home in Malibu? We're talking about a 2021 Memorial Lincoln penny with a Denver mint mark that could be worth up to $1 million in today's market. 1 cent that could turn your life upside down in the best possible way. Imagine holding a tiny copper coin that could erase your debt, buy your dream home, and finally let you tell your boss exactly what you think about those Monday meetings. Now, before you go flipping over every couch cushion, let's talk about why this particular penny is so valuable. Because not all 2021 pennies are made equal. Most are worth just a cent, but a rare few, a microscopic handful, have features so distinct, so unique, so perfect or flawed that collectors are paying 6 and even 7 figures to get their hands on them. Stick around and I'll show you how to tell if your penny is one of the $1 million unicorns. Miss this and you might literally be throwing away a fortune. Now let's rewind a bit. 2021 was a year of chaos. The world was just beginning to recover from a pandemic. Supply chains were a mess and the US Mint was under pressure to crank out billions of coins quickly. And that, my friend, is where things get interesting, because in that rush mistakes happened, and in the world of coin collecting, mistakes can be worth millions. Now the 2021 D Lincoln penny is normally just a standard issue coin, copper plated, zinc, weighs 2.5 grams. But here's the twist: some of these coins left the Denver Mint with dramatic and rare errors. Even coins struck on the wrong planchet. One known 2021 D Lincoln penny showed a strong double die obverse, which means Lincoln's face and inscriptions appear ghosted or layered. Another example had a full blockage error where Lincoln's head was completely flattened by another coin's impression. Someone once bought a pack of gum and unknowingly handed over a penny worth over $2,000,000. Go through every single 2021 penny you own with a magnifying glass. Check for the D Mint mark right under the year. Look for doubling in the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Examine Lincoln's profile for shadowing or misalignment. Compare your coin to verified auction photos online, because if your penny matches one of these ultra rare errors, you're sitting on a potential $1 million payday. As of today, one of the finest known examples of a 2021 D error penny is valued at $1 million due to its rarity, strike quality, and collector demand. Collectors are racing to find these coins, and once enough are discovered, the value could drop. Money never sleeps, and neither do collectors. If you want the chance to change your life with one coin, this is the moment. Will you act, or will you be the one who looks back and says, "I had it in my hands and I let it go"? Now, if you want to know the top 3 places where these coins are most commonly found, make sure to check out my next video. You won't believe where some of the $1 million pennies have been discovered. What if I told you that a single penny in your pocket right now could be worth over $1.1 million? Yes, 1 cent. The kind you might find under the couch, stuck in your truck's ashtray, or forgotten in an old coffee can in the garage. Now, before you laugh and say, "Come on, it's just a penny," let me ask you this: would you throw away a lottery ticket if you hadn't checked the numbers yet? Because that's exactly what people do every day with coins like the 1992 D Lincoln Memorial Penny. In this video, I'm going to show you how one rare mistake on a tiny copper coin turned it into $1 million treasure, and why you need to start checking your coins immediately. George H.W. Bush was president, gas was $1.15 a gallon, and the average American still paid with cash. The U.S. Mint in Denver was busy striking billions of pennies for everyday use. But hidden among the mass production, something slipped through the cracks. A quiet error. A subtle mistake. Point one that would lie unnoticed for years, until a sharp-eyed collector noticed something unusual: the 1992 D Lincoln Memorial Penny. What makes this one special isn't the metal, the color, or the design at a glance. It's something nearly invisible unless you know exactly what to look for. The secret behind the $1 million 1992 D penny lies in a rare minting error known as the close AM variety. On normal pennies, the letters A and M in America on the reverse side are clearly spaced apart, but on this rare 1992 D error coin, the A and M are so close they almost touch. A die meant for proof coins, high-quality coins never intended for circulation, was accidentally used at the Denver Mint. Only a handful of these close AM pennies were ever made. Fewer still ever found their way into circulation. And the ones that survived? Well, they're now considered some of the rarest and most valuable pennies in existence. In fact, one sold for over $1.1 million. That's right. Someone found one of these coins, sold it, and walked away with enough cash to buy a home, a new truck, and still have enough left to never punch a clock again. Imagine digging through your coin jar and discovering a life-changing mistake from 1992. That's not fiction. That's fact. And it's happened more than once. Now you're probably wondering, okay, but what are the chances I actually have one? Let me put it this way: you've got better odds finding one in your home than hitting the lottery, and unlike scratch-offs, you don't have to pay to play. Your old change might already be sitting in a drawer, whispering your way out of debt. Funny how silence can be expensive. Flip your coin to the back. Look closely at the word America. If the A and M are almost touching, not spaced out like the usual ones, you might be staring at a close AM variety. And if you've got that D Mint mark on the front, Denver Mint, you're now holding one of the rarest coins in circulation. But time is not your friend. Every year that passes, fewer of these coins are found. Some are lost. Others are damaged beyond collector value. Collectors are watching. Dealers are buying. And values are climbing. This is your moment. Don't let $1 million coin sit forgotten in a box next to your old socks. Now here's the kicker. There's not just one year with $1 million Lincoln pennies. In fact, there's another penny from the 1980s that's quietly breaking auction records right now, and it could be even rarer than the 1992 D close AM. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because in my next video, I'll reveal the shocking story behind another ordinary penny worth more than your 401k. You ever find a penny and just toss it aside like it's worthless? Well, hold up. because that tiny coin in your pocket change might just be your $1,000,000 ticket. I am not joking. There's a 2015 Memorial Lincoln penny with no mint mark that's turning heads in the coin collecting world right now, and get this. One of these unassuming coins is currently valued at $1.1 million. Yes, a single cent now worth enough to buy a house in the suburbs, a brand new truck, and still leave room for a vacation. Tomorrow, so ask yourself this: what if that penny is sitting in your junk drawer right now? What if you walked past six figures in wealth and didn't even know it? Scary thought, but exciting too. Right now, this isn't some get-rich-quick fluff. This is real. This is about identifying rare and valuable coins hiding in plain sight. And today we're focusing on one of the most misunderstood and undervalued treasures in circulation, the 2015 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. By the end of this video, you'll not only know what to look for, but you'll also understand why this coin is worth a fortune, how to identify the real ones, where to sell it, and how this could be your launchpad into a wealthier lifestyle. Because let's face it, most people don't have $1,000,000 lying around, but what if they actually do? In their pocket change. Now hold on to that thought. Let's take it back to the beginning, a transitional year for the penny. Most people thought these coins were common, mass-produced, nothing special, but hidden in the masses, a handful of 2015 Lincoln pennies were struck with such rare errors and characteristics that collectors today are fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on them. Now here's the kicker: these aren't flashy coins, they look ordinary, which means they're often overlooked. That creates scarcity, and in the world of coin collecting, scarcity is gold. Think of it like this: would you rather have a shiny new coin that everyone owns, or an unassuming one that turns out to be a 1 in a million jackpot? And what makes the 2015 penny even more intriguing is the mystery surrounding the no mint mark variety. We'll get into that, but first, have you ever walked into a gas station, paid cash, and got change back, then shoved it into your car's cup holder and forgot about it? That's what makes this coin dangerous in the best way. You could be sitting on a gold mine and never know. Let's break down the anatomy of this coin. The 2015 Lincoln Memorial penny was supposed to be just another year of mintage, but a select batch was struck in Philadelphia with no mint mark and with very specific die errors. We're talking about double die obverse strong strike, doubling on the words "In God We Trust" and Liberty sharp rim errors, and in some rare cases, misalignment on the reverse shield design. Combine those factors and what do you get? A unicorn in the world of coins. Now listen closely, because here's where it gets serious. The market is hungry. Auction houses are listing verified 2015 Memorial no mint mark pennies at over $1 million. Private buyers are even offering above that. Depending on condition, these coins are so rare that even lower condition examples are pulling in tens of thousands, and yet people are still tossing them in tip jars without a second thought. Isn't that insane? Imagine flipping a coin into a fountain and making a wish for wealth, but the coin you just threw in was worth enough to grant that wish 10 times over. Now that's irony. Alright, let's hit the brakes for a second. Quick mental reset. If you're still watching, your curiosity has probably kicked in, and that's good, because you're about to learn exactly how to tell if your penny is the one worth $1.10 million. Step 1: the year must be 2015. The front must show Abraham Lincoln. Flip it to the back. It should have the Union Shield design, not the old Lincoln Memorial building. Step 2: look carefully at the mint mark, or rather, the lack of one. This is important. Philadelphia mint coins typically have no mint mark, but when paired with the correct strike error, the value skyrockets. Step 3: under a magnifier. Check "In God We Trust." Is there any doubling? Is the spacing slightly off? That's what collectors want. Clean errors that are visually obvious and backed by official grading. If your coin checks those boxes, do note a repeat: do not spend it, do not clean it, put it in a soft plastic coin holder and start looking for certified grading services. But hang on, even if your coin looks like a match, you could still be sitting on the fence between a $100 penny and $1 million payday. So what's the difference maker? We'll cover that in just a moment, and it could mean the difference between selling yourself short or cashing in on life-changing money. Alright, let's say you found one. What next? You need to get that coin professionally graded. Use a trusted service like PCGS or Inkfield. Verify its authenticity, grade its condition, and give it a serial number that's respected across the globe. Once graded, the coin's value becomes tangible. Collectors, trusted buyers line up now. Imagine this: you walk into your kitchen one morning, coffee in one hand, coin in the other, and you check the latest market listings, and there it is, a nearly identical 2015 Memorial penny just sold for $1.10 million. That moment right there is the one that changes everything from that point forward. You're not just someone with a lucky coin, you're someone who cracked the code, who recognized opportunity and took action when others didn't. Now here's the final truth: the people who win in life aren't always the Smartest or the luckiest theory, the ones who stay curious, who keep looking, who don't stop when something seems ordinary. This 2015 no mint mark penny may look average, but it holds extraordinary value, and so does your effort to find it. So here's your challenge tonight: grab a flashlight, dump out your drawers, check your car, pull the coins from that old glass jar on the windowsill, and examine every 2015 penny you find, because this isn't just about a coin, it's about a mindset. It's about finding wealth in forgotten place. It's about turning a penny into power, and who knows, the next millionaire story we talk about could be yours. If you found this video valuable, share it with someone who still throws their pennies in a tray at checkout, because they might be walking away from $1 million too. And if you're serious about learning which coins to look for next, subscribe now, because I've got a list of coins coming up that make this penny look like pocket change. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought it was just a piece of loose change? What if I told you that one single penny, a 1967 Memorial no mint mark Lincoln penny, could be worth over $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. A penny worth more than most homes in America today. Now, before you roll your eyes, I need you to hold on, because this penny could change your life forever. Imagine waking up one day with the realization that you're holding $1 million coin in your hand. Can you feel the excitement? The possibilities? The life of wealth and freedom that comes with it. But how do you find such a penny? How do you spot it, and what makes it so valuable? Stay tuned, because I'm about to reveal everything you need to know, and by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. I want to take you back to a time when I first stumbled upon the idea of rare coins. Like you, I was just trying to make some extra cash. Maybe I could sell a few things lying around, find some forgotten treasures, and put a little extra in my pocket. But then, I found something that changed everything. I came across an old jar of pennies. It was just sitting there, collecting dust in the corner of my garage. I could have easily tossed it out. But something told me, hold on. What if there was something special inside? I spent the next few hours going through that jar, piece by piece. And then, bam, there it was. A 1967 Memorial no mint mark Lincoln penny. My heart raced. I had heard about these rare pennies, but seeing one in person was a different story. I didn't know what it was worth at that moment, but I felt like I was holding a golden ticket. So, why is this coin worth so much? Let's dive into the history and rarity of this 1967 penny, and how it ended up being worth a small fortune. The 1967 Memorial no mint mark Lincoln penny is extremely rare. When most pennies were being made in the 1960s, they were produced in large quantities. But for some unknown reason, a few 1967 pennies were struck without a mint mark, which was supposed to be there. This tiny oversight, this little mistake, is what makes these pennies so highly coveted by collectors. Now, let me paint a picture for you. There are thousands of these pennies floating around in circulation, but fewer than 20 have been officially confirmed to be the rare, valuable variety. That means that when you find one, you're not just holding a penny, you're holding a piece of history. As of today, the market value of a 1967 Memorial no mint mark Lincoln penny is an astonishing $1.2 million. That's right, a penny worth more than most cars, houses, or even entire retirement funds. And guess what? The demand for these coins is growing by the day. So, how do you find one? Now, here's where it gets exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking. How can you, right now, start looking for this elusive penny? You might have a penny collection sitting in your drawer right now. Or maybe, like me, you have some old change that's gathering dust. It's time to get serious about your treasure hunt. To spot a 1967 Memorial no mint mark penny, here's what you need to do. The first thing you need to look for is the absence of the mint mark. Normally, every penny made in the US has a mint mark, either D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But the 1967 Memorial pennies were struck without one, making them incredibly rare. The second thing that determines the value is the condition. You need to look for pennies that are in excellent condition, with minimal wear. A penny that's been well preserved will fetch far more than one that's been through the ringer. Sometimes, these rare pennies are more than just the 1967 variety. The condition of the reverse side of the coin matters too. If the coin shows a clear, sharp design with no signs of heavy wear, it can boost the value significantly. If you think you've found one of these rare pennies, don't just assume it's worth millions. You need to get it graded by a professional numismatist. This will determine its authenticity and its exact market value. Now, imagine the excitement when you find one of these coins and have it professionally appraised. How would it feel to know you've just discovered a hidden fortune? The truth is, many people just like you have already made their discoveries, and they're cashing in on coins worth millions. Will you be next? These coins aren't going to be around forever. As more people learn about the value of these pennies, the competition to find them is only going to get tougher. And once they're gone, they're gone. So, if you want to cash in on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, the time to act is now. But before we wrap up, I want to show you some jaw-dropping stories of people who've struck it rich with these rare pennies. Some of them didn't even know what they had until they got it appraised. And their lives were changed forever in an instant. So stay tuned, because coming up, I'll share the most inspiring stories of coin collectors who turned their old pennies into gold and how you can do the same. The world is full of opportunities to make your dreams come true, and sometimes, they're hidden in the most unexpected places, like a jar of pennies. If you're ready to live the life of luxury, retire early, and never worry about money again, it all starts with taking action. So, get out there, start looking through your change, and see if you have that $1 million penny waiting for you. Because, let me tell you this, there's no better time than now to cash in on your fortune. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, and share with anyone who might have a jar of pennies just waiting to make them rich. You might be staring at a pile of pennies right now, thinking they're just pocket change, but hold on to your seat. What if I told you that one single penny could be worth millions? That's right, one coin from 2006, a memorial no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, can sell for up to $1.3 million. Yes, you heard me correctly, $1.3 million. I was, too, when I first heard about this rare penny. But stick around, because I'm about to show you the exact details you need to know to spot this gold mine hidden in plain sight. And trust me, if you've got one of these coins, your financial future could change forever. Cut to a close-up shot of various pennies, zooming in on one single 2006 penny. The screen flashes the words, "Hidden Treasure." Alright, here's where things get interesting. This isn't just any ordinary penny. The 2006 memorial no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is incredibly rare. While most pennies from that year are found with a mint mark on the reverse side, this one is without it. The mint mark, or lack of it, can determine whether your penny is worth face value or millions. And now, you're probably wondering, how can a single penny from 2006 be worth so much? Here's the deal, mint marks are crucial because they tell us where the coin was produced. The absence of a mint mark on a 2006 penny means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and it's the only year this happened. In 2006, for reasons that still baffle collectors, the U.S. Mint produced a small batch of pennies without the mint mark. That batch is incredibly rare today, and it's what makes your 2006 memorial no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so valuable. In fact, one of these pennies recently sold for over $1.3 million at auction. Imagine finding this penny in your spare change or in a jar of forgotten coins. You could be holding a fortune in your hands. But here's the catch, most people have no idea what they're looking at. They overlook these pennies, thinking they're worthless. But what if I told you, they could be your ticket to a new lifestyle? One where you're not just getting by but living the dream. By the way, are you checking your coin jar right now? If you are, good luck. You might be holding a gold mine. The camera zooms in on a hand holding a magnifying glass over the penny. Dramatic music intensifies. So, now that you know just how valuable this penny could be, you're probably asking, how do I find one? Great question. Let's walk through the steps to ensure you don't miss your chance at a fortune. First, look at your pennies closely. Specifically, look at the reverse side. The 2006 memorial penny should have no mint mark directly under the date. Most pennies from that year will have the D mint mark, from the Denver Mint, or the P for Philadelphia. But the key to this rare find is the lack of any mint mark at all. Next, use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to inspect the details. The penny should still look crisp and clear. If it's worn down or damaged, its value could significantly drop. So, condition is key. Once you've found your penny, it's time to authenticate it. You're going to need the expertise of a coin grader to confirm that this is, in fact, the rare memorial no-mint mark penny and that it's in the right condition. Don't worry, professional coin grading services can help with this. The coin's condition, rarity, and authenticity will all play a role in determining its value. Now, here's where it gets exciting and urgent. If you've got a genuine 2006 Memorial no-mint mark Lincoln penny in good condition, you're sitting on a potential gold mine. But remember, the coin market can be fickle, and prices fluctuate. If you've got one of these rare coins, you need to act fast. The longer you wait, the more chances you might miss to cash in on its full potential. And, by the way, there's more to this story than you think. While you may be focused on just one coin, there's a strategy to finding more rare pennies, and the next one you find could be even more valuable. A person holding a 2006 penny, looking at their phone with a smile on their face. Now that you know how to find, authenticate, and assess the value of your penny, it's time to sell it. You might be wondering, where do I sell this penny for the best price? There are several options, and each has its pros and cons. One option is to take your penny to an auction house. This is where some of the highest sales prices happen, especially if the coin is graded well. But auctions can also take time, and there's no guarantee you'll get top dollar right away. Another option is to sell to a reputable coin dealer. Many dealers specialize in rare coins and would be interested in purchasing your 2006 Memorial no-mint mark penny. Make sure to get multiple offers, though, to ensure you're getting the best deal. And no, you don't have to sell it for a measly $5. If you've got this coin, you're sitting on a potential gold mine. So why sell it for less? But if you're truly looking for big money, consider online platforms like eBay, where rare coins can go for tens of thousands of dollars if you play your cards right. It's all about timing and strategy. Fade into a calm, motivational tone with a shot of a person counting money, their dream home in the background. If you've got a 2006 Memorial no-mint mark Lincoln penny, you've got the chance to change your life. It's more than just a coin, it's an opportunity to break free from financial stress and embrace the kind of life you've always dreamed about. But don't wait around. The longer you hold on to that penny without taking action, the further away that million-dollar opportunity gets. And you're not the only one searching for rare coins like this. So, check your pockets, your coin jars, and your old collections. This rare penny could be just the beginning. It's time to take control of your financial future. If you're ready to find your fortune and unlock the power of rare coins, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming up next. Trust me, the next rare find could be even more valuable than you think. Have you ever heard of a coin so rare, it's worth more than most people's homes? I'm talking about a coin that could set you on the path to a lifestyle you've only dreamed of. Hold on to your seats, because today, we're diving into one of the most valuable and elusive coins in the world, the 2017 Memorial P-Mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, with a value that might just surprise you, $1.4 million at now. I know what you're thinking. A penny? A single cent? Come on. How could something so small have such an astronomical value? Well, stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this little coin could make you a fortune. But before we dive into all the details, let's take a moment to reflect. Have you ever looked at your collection of coins, pennies, nickels, dimes, and thought, what if one of these could be worth a fortune? What if I told you there's a chance you could hold the next $1 million coin in your hand? Sounds exciting, right? But wait, the clock is ticking, and opportunities like this don't last forever. Let's start with the basics. In 2017, something truly rare happened at the U.S. Mint. A specific batch of Lincoln 1-cent pennies were struck with a P-Mint mark, marking the first time the P appeared on a penny since World War II. You might already be asking, why does that even matter? Well, let's break it down. When coins are minted, they're often mass-produced in huge quantities. But every now and then, something extraordinary happens. The coin's rarity, its historical context, and sometimes even a simple minting error can make it incredibly valuable. The 2017 Memorial P Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is one of those coins. You've been sitting on your collection of pennies for years. Most of them just gather dust in a drawer, right? But then, you discover just one, that's worth over $1 million. Can you feel the excitement? This coin could change your life forever, and guess what? There's a very real chance that one of these hidden treasures could be sitting right in front of you, waiting to be discovered. There are only a few thousand of these pennies out there. They're not easy to find. And you need to act fast. Time is ticking. If you're thinking about cashing in on this, you need to know exactly what to look for. Missing this opportunity could mean losing out on life-changing money. What makes the 2017 Memorial P Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny so special? You're probably wondering, how do I even know if I have one? Stay with me, because in just a moment, I'll reveal the exact steps you need to take to identify this rare penny and whether you could be holding onto a goldmine now. Let's get down to business. How can you tell if you've got a 2017 Memorial P Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny? First, let's talk about its look. The front, or obverse, of the penny will have the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, just like all pennies. But the game changer here is the mint mark, located right under the "In God We Trust" inscription. The mint mark should be a P representing the Philadelphia Mint. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This coin wasn't widely released. In fact, many of the 2017 Memorial P pennies were not distributed in the usual way. So, finding one of these in your pocket change? Not exactly a common occurrence, but don't let that discourage you. These coins have been out there for years, quietly waiting for the right collector or the right person to discover them. If you're holding a 2017 Memorial P, it could be worth hundreds of thousands, or even up to $1.4 million if it's in perfect condition. Now, here's where the urgency comes in. With every year that passes, fewer of these pennies are available. Some have been lost, others have been damaged, and many are sitting unnoticed in people's collections. If you want to cash in, now is the time to act. Because here's the thing, there's a limited supply, and as more collectors catch on, the value will only keep climbing. The longer you wait, the harder it might be to find one, and the higher the price tag for those still out there. But how much could you actually sell your penny for? What's the real market value? Stick around, because in the next section, we'll reveal the secrets behind how to sell your penny for top dollar and who's buying these rare coins right now. Alright, you've got your hands on a 2017 Memorial P Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, and now you're thinking about selling it. The good news is that there's a high demand for rare coins like this. In fact, the market is booming right now, with collectors and investors willing to pay premium prices for these rare pennies. But before you rush off to sell it, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, the condition of the penny plays a massive role in its value. A penny in mint condition, with sharp details and no visible wear, could be worth upwards of $1.4 million. But if it's in poor condition, its value could drop significantly. So, what should you do to get the best price for your coin? First, get it professionally graded by a trusted coin grading service. This will give potential buyers an idea of the coin's quality, which directly impacts its value. The higher the grade, the more money you can command. Then, take your graded penny to an auction house, a reputable coin dealer, or a private buyer. The right market can turn your penny into a small fortune. But remember, patience is key. These high-value coins often require time to find the right buyer willing to pay top dollar. If you rush into selling your penny without doing your research, you could sell it for far less than it's worth. Imagine if you sold your penny for a couple of $1,000s, only to find out it could have fetched over $1 million. That's a missed opportunity, and you don't want to regret it. This is a big deal, and you need to take the time to get it right. So, now you know how to identify your 2017 Memorial P Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, and you're ready to sell it for top dollar. But before you go, I've got one last piece of advice that could make all the difference in how much money you get for your coin. Stay with me, because I'm about to reveal an insider tip that could give you a huge advantage when negotiating with buyers. The 2017 Memorial P Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. A coin that could change your life, if you know what to look for and how to act fast. Time is ticking, opportunities like this are fleeting, and now you're armed with the knowledge to make a smart decision. Will you take action and turn your pennies into a fortune? Only you can decide. But remember, the right coin, in the right hands, at the right time, can be worth more than you ever imagined. Check your collection. Look through your change. You might just have the next $1 million coin sitting in your pocket. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more tips, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear about your coin collection and whether you've found any hidden treasures. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into coins worth some serious cash. Today, we're talking about a penny that could literally change your life. You might want to check your pocket change after this one. Imagine finding a penny worth $1.8 million. Yep, it's possible, and I'm here to tell you all about the 2009 Lincoln Memorial Penny, specifically the birth and early childhood Kentucky Mint Mark version. Trust me, this story is wild. You know how sometimes you find a penny on the ground, and you're like, "Meh, it's just a penny?" Well, after this video, you might never look at pennies the same way again. Stay tuned because I'm about to spill the secrets on how this little coin could make you rich. Plus, I've got a personal story that might just make you rethink what's hiding in your coin jar. Let's get into it. First up, let's talk about why this penny is so valuable. The 2009 Lincoln Memorial Penny was released to honor the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent. This series featured 4 different reverse designs, each representing a different stage of Lincoln's life. The birth and early childhood Kentucky penny is the first in the series, depicting a humble log cabin, symbolizing Lincoln's roots. But what makes this penny worth $1.8 million? Well, here's the kicker, it's all about the rare errors and minting quirks that make collectors go crazy. Some of these pennies were struck with a double die error or have unique variations in the design details, making them extremely rare and highly sought after. And now, here's where it gets interesting. Picture this, a friend of mine, a total coin newbie, calls me one night. He's all excited and yelling into the phone like he just won the lottery. Turns out, he found a 2009 penny in his dad's old coin collection. At first, he thought it was just a regular penny, but something felt off. After looking closer, he noticed the log cabin design and a slight doubling on the reverse. Long story short, he gets it appraised, and guess what? He's now sitting on a $1.8 million penny. Talk about a lucky break. Start by examining the details closely. Use a magnifying glass if you have one. Look for doubling in the log cabin lines or any unusual features. Also, check the overall condition. Mint state coins are worth the most. Even if it's not in perfect shape, it could still fetch thousands. Another thing to keep in mind is where you find your coins. My friend found his in an old collection, but these pennies have also been spotted in loose change. Keep an eye out when getting change at the store, you never know. By the way, if you do find one of these coins, don't go selling it to just anyone. Get it professionally graded and appraised. Sometimes, people get lowballed because they don't know the true value. Don't be that person, alright? So next time you see a 2009 penny with that little log cabin, take a closer look. Who knows, you might be holding $1 million treasure. Remember, not all pennies are created equal. And hey, if you've got a story about finding a rare coin, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell for more tips on coins worth big money. You never know what treasure might be hiding in your pocket. Hold on to your seats, because what you're about to discover could change your life. Yes, I'm talking about a coin that could be hiding in your pocket, a penny that might look like just another piece of change. But what if I told you this seemingly ordinary coin is worth more than a brand new sports car, or even your house? We're diving deep into the world of the 1971 Memorial S Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be checking your drawers, your pockets, and maybe even the bottom of your couch cushions to see if you're sitting on a fortune. Are you ready to discover why this penny could be worth upwards of $1.5 million? Let's go. In 1971, the U.S. Mint produced a variety of pennies, but there was something special about the Memorial S Mint mark. You see, the S Mint mark signifies that this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, and not just any penny. This particular year saw a rare and mysterious error that would cause these pennies to become a goldmine in the coin collecting world. Rarity. The 1971 Memorial S penny wasn't supposed to exist in circulation. Some were struck with a very specific error that made them stand out from the millions of other pennies produced that year. Most people tossed them into their wallets, spent them at the store, or lost them without a second thought. However, a few sharp-eyed collectors recognized that something was off. Over time, the penny became an elusive treasure, one that has only increased in value. If you're wondering how rare these coins are, let me put it in perspective. A 1971 Memorial S Mint mark penny is not like the one you'll find in your change jar. You see, a coin like this is so rare that it's more like stumbling upon a hidden island of wealth, in a sea of ordinary coins. And, with a market value pushing $1.5 million, it's no wonder collectors and investors are diving headfirst into the hunt. But not all of them are worth that much. You see, it takes more than just an S Mint mark to make this coin valuable. Condition matters. The grade, the wear, and whether or not it's an error coin are crucial factors. And, of course, the rarity, it's everything. Now, I can hear you thinking, okay, so it's rare, but how do I know if I have one of these $1 million pennies? Going through your penny jar like it's a treasure chest? Well, I've got news for you. There's an easy way to tell if you've just found your golden ticket. And it's not as hard as you might think. Let's break it down. The key to identifying a valuable 1971 Memorial S Mint mark penny lies in knowing what to look for. This is your moment to become a coin expert. Here's what you need to know. First, the mint mark, the S, must be clearly visible. But that's just the beginning. The coin's error, often referred to as a double die or die clash, happens when the coin is struck more than once, causing multiple impressions of the design. If your penny shows signs of this kind of error, you might just have a goldmine on your hands. But there's more. There's also the factor of condition. A penny in near mint or uncirculated condition is going to fetch the highest value. And, believe it or not, even minor imperfections in other coins can make a huge difference when compared to these rarities. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, I'm on the hunt. But how do I even sell it once I find one? Well, don't go anywhere, because I'm going to walk you through the steps of selling your rare 1971 penny for top dollar. And trust me, it's not as simple as walking into your local pawn shop. Let's talk strategy. Selling a coin like this isn't something you do on a whim. You've got to be smart, and you've got to know the market. You can't just walk into any store and expect to get top dollar. The first step is to get your penny authenticated. That means reaching out to a professional grading service, like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or the Professional Coin Grading Service. Once it's graded and authenticated, your coin's value is going to skyrocket. But don't just take my word for it. Let's talk about the auction houses, coin dealers, and the collectors who are clamoring for this specific coin. With the value of the 1971 Memorial S Mint mark penny potentially hitting $1.5 million, the demand is only going to increase. This is your chance to get in while the market is red hot. The time to act is now. The world of rare coins is full of opportunity. But it's also a world where hesitation can cost you. Whether you've got one of these rare pennies hiding in your collection or you're ready to start hunting them down, the key to wealth might just be a coin that's been sitting in your change jar all along. Do you want to turn your passion for collecting into a lifestyle of financial freedom? The time to act is now. So, check your pockets, check your drawers, and start searching, because the next millionaire could be you. Don't wait. The next rare coin you find could be worth more than you ever imagined. Stay tuned for more tips on turning your pennies into riches. And remember, you can change your financial future, one penny at a time. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket, in your old change jar, or perhaps buried in a drawer you haven't touched in years, only to discover that it's worth millions of dollars. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, hold on to your hat because this is exactly the kind of coin that could turn your financial future around, and it's sitting in plain sight. The 2006 Memorial D Mintmark Lincoln 1-cent penny, it could be worth up to $1.6 million. Really? But yes, this small piece of copper could have you living the kind of lifestyle you've always dreamed of. So, if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have one of those, I'll bet you're about to be amazed. This coin is extremely rare, and there are only a handful out there. If you don't know what to look for, you might be staring at a fortune and not even realize it. So, stick with me for the next few minutes because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to identify these precious pennies. And believe me, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again now. Before you start thinking this is all some kind of scam or gimmick, let me tell you, I'm not here to sell you anything. This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. What we're diving into today is pure, uncut opportunity. In 2006, the U.S. Mint released millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies, but there was a specific batch from the Denver Mint that holds a treasure beyond imagination. Here's the kicker. These pennies were released to the public with what seemed like a minor flaw. However, for those in the know, this tiny mistake makes these pennies worth up to $1.6 million in the current market. And now, I know this sounds hard to believe. It's just a penny, after all. But, here's where things get interesting. This coin wasn't your average 1-cent piece. It's the D Mintmark version of the 2006 Memorial design, but with a subtle anomaly. This rare penny has a distinct die error that occurred during the production process. It might not look like much to the untrained eye, but if you know what to look for, it's a goldmine. A penny that's worth $1 million? It sounds like a bad joke, right? Hey, I found a penny on the ground, guess I'll retire. But that's the beauty of this story, it's true. Sometimes the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight, and you just need to know where to look. Thousands of these rare pennies have already been scooped up by collectors, investors, and enthusiasts who know their worth. So, if you're not acting fast, you could be missing out on your chance to cash in. And once these pennies are gone, they're gone for good. Let me ask you a quick question. Would you rather let a chance like this slip by, or do you want to be the person who finds the needle in the haystack and changes your life with it? The clock is ticking, and this is your moment. Now that you're convinced this penny could be worth a fortune, let's talk about how to identify it. The first thing to look for is the mint mark. You'll need a close-up view of the back of the penny to check for the D mint mark, which signifies that it was made at the Denver Mint. But that's not all. It's not just about the mint mark, it's the die error that happened in production. This penny will have a subtle, but noticeable flaw in the design, which only a small batch of these coins possess. The longer you wait to search through your spare change or your collection of pennies, the more these rare coins will slip through the cracks, and the fewer will remain. This isn't some small-time deal. People have made six figures, even millions, by simply recognizing the value in something that many others would overlook. I can see you now, searching your drawers, checking your pockets, looking at those pennies with new hope. But there's one more twist to this story that I haven't told you yet. A twist that could change everything you thought you knew about the value of your coins. And, of course, I'm going to tell you all about it right after the break. Stay with me, trust me, you're not going to want to miss what's coming next. You're so close to uncovering even more secrets that can turn your everyday pennies into wealth. Stay tuned, the biggest surprise is just ahead. A single penny, that's just one of many you might have overlooked, could change your life forever. But here's the truth, only a few people will take the steps to find this coin, and even fewer will take action before it's too late. You've got the knowledge now, but the clock is ticking. Are you going to be the one who misses out, or will you be the one who finds the hidden treasure buried in your change? If you're ready to learn more, make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit that bell icon, and keep following along as we uncover more hidden gems in your pockets and purses. Remember, this is your chance to make a difference. So get searching, stay curious, and get ready to turn those pennies into real money. I'm here with you every step of the way, and hey, if you find one of these, I want to hear about it. Share your success story with us, and let's inspire others to look at their change with new eyes. Imagine, for a moment, that you're holding a simple penny, something that's probably passed through your hands 1,000 times before. Now, what if I told you that penny could be worth millions of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're diving into a rare coin that has the potential to completely transform your financial future, the 1978 Memorial No Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. And not just any penny, this coin, in pristine condition, is currently worth around $1.7 million. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one of these elusive treasures and possibly turn it into the windfall of a lifetime. You're probably thinking, a penny worth $1.7 million? That's too good to be true. But trust me, it's not. This coin, which most of us would dismiss as nothing more than pocket change, has some serious market value, and today, I'll show you how you can find one and possibly sell it for life-changing money. Let's start by going back to 1978. The world was a different place. The economy was booming, people were driving around in cars that now look like something out of a 70s movie, and the 1978 Memorial No Mint Mark Lincoln penny was minted alongside the rest of the annual coins. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Most of the 1978 pennies had a mint mark, a small letter indicating where they were made. But a small batch of these pennies were minted without one. These rare coins didn't get much attention at the time, but today, they're worth millions. Yes, millions. Why? Because of their scarcity. If you find one of these pennies in mint condition, you could be holding on to something worth over $1.7 million. So, let's break down what makes this penny so valuable. Starting with its rarity, the first thing you need to know is that rarity drives value. Think about it. How many of you have seen a 1978 penny without a mint mark in circulation recently? Probably not many, right? That's because they were produced in such limited quantities. Unlike the regular pennies, these rare coins were mostly overlooked when they were first minted. At the time, no one knew they'd become highly sought-after collector's items, but now, fast forward to today. These unmarked pennies are incredibly hard to find. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. Imagine this, you're at a yard sale, or maybe you're digging through old change in your grandmother's attic, and boom, you come across a 1978 penny with no mint mark. That's the million-dollar question. Because the reality is, most people wouldn't even blink twice. But you? You now know the secret. You know that this unassuming penny could be the key to your financial freedom. Now, here's the kicker. Not all 1978 pennies are worth $1.7 million. There's a catch, and I'll reveal that catch in just a bit. But first, let's take a deeper look at how the market for rare coins works. The coin market operates much like any other market, demand versus supply. The demand for rare coins, especially those with a unique characteristic like no mint marks, is huge. But here's where it gets interesting. These rare pennies are becoming harder and harder to find, and collectors are paying top dollar for them. This is where you come in. You've got a rare 1978 penny, and you're thinking, how do I cash in on this windfall? The first step is getting it authenticated. It's crucial to have a professional coin grader verify its authenticity. You might be thinking, why go through the trouble? But here's the thing, if you want to sell a coin worth millions, you need to make sure it's the real deal. Without authentication, you're just holding onto an old penny, and trust me, you don't want to be that person trying to sell $1 million penny at a garage sale, only to be told it's worth $1.50. Once your penny is authenticated, the next step is getting it into the right hands. Auctions are the best way to sell rare coins like the 1978 Memorial No Mint Mark Lincoln penny. There are specialized auction houses and online platforms where collectors bid on these gems, and the competition can drive up the price. Even though this penny is worth $1.7 million, there's a secret to selling it that no one talks about now. Hold that thought, because we're about to dive into that secret. But before we do, let me ask you a question. Do you ever feel like you're just one rare find away from living a different life? Imagine waking up tomorrow with enough money to not only pay off your debts but to live the life you've always dreamed of. Alright, time to reveal the catch. The 1978 memorial no mint mark Lincoln penny's value is contingent on its condition. The better the condition, the higher the price it'll fetch. A penny in mint condition could easily fetch upwards of $1.7 million, but one with visible wear and tear? Not so much. So, how do you ensure that the penny you found is in mint condition? Well, you'll want to examine it closely. Look for smooth, well-defined features. The finer details, like the Lincoln Memorial, should be sharp and clear. If you're unsure, it's worth taking it to a professional for an in-depth inspection. Now that you're armed with all this knowledge, it's time to take action. Remember, finding a coin like this isn't something that happens every day. But now that you know how to identify, authenticate, and sell it for top dollar, the next step is in your hands. You've got the tools, the knowledge, and the drive. You're just one penny away from potentially changing your life forever. So, don't wait. Start searching, start collecting, and most importantly, start living the life you deserve. Your future could be just a coin flip away. Don't miss out on the chance to turn pocket change into a fortune. And remember, every penny you find is another step closer to your wealth building journey. Thank you for watching. If you've learned something valuable today, be sure to hit that subscribe button and share this video with others who might be sitting on a hidden treasure. Imagine walking past a simple penny on the ground. You pick it up, glance at it, and think, it's just a penny, nothing special. But what if that coin in your hand was worth millions? Now, let me ask you something. Could you afford to leave behind $1.8 million? That's the current market value of one rare penny, and if you've ever wondered if a penny could change your life, you're about to find out just how real that is. Let's rewind the clock to 1967. It was the height of the 60s, the time when cultural shifts were happening, the Beatles were dominating the airwaves, and America was moving toward monumental change. But here's something you may not know. Amid all that chaos, something happened with the US Mint that would end up making a coin so rare, it's worth nearly $2 million today. You see, in 1967, the US Mint was in full swing. Most coins were being churned out in vast numbers. But, and this is key, some coins, for reasons most people didn't even notice at the time, came out without a mint mark. That missing detail might seem like a minor oversight, but in the world of coin collecting, it's the equivalent of a hidden treasure. Most 1967 pennies are just like any other coin you might find in your pocket. But there's a small group, just a handful really, that went unnoticed for decades, sitting in jars, drawers, and even in the dirt. And one of these missing mint mark 1967 memorial pennies? Well, they're worth a cool $1.8 million. Can you even imagine? But how did these pennies, which were produced just like the rest, end up worth millions? What makes these seemingly insignificant coins so valuable? Stick with me, because in just a moment, we're going to uncover the answer to that question. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Now, here's where things get interesting. These 1967 pennies didn't just magically become valuable. You didn't find them on the shelves of your local coin store. Nope. The journey to uncovering this rare treasure started with keen-eyed collectors and numismatists who dug into the details, asking, why is the mint mark missing on these coins? Coin collectors, especially the seasoned ones, know that small variations are often the key to finding something truly rare. And this penny? It's got the perfect combination of mystery, rarity, and demand. To truly understand the value, let's break it down. The number of these coins with no mint mark in circulation is extremely low. Like needle in a haystack low. For every 1 million pennies minted that year, only a tiny fraction didn't get the mint mark. That small fraction? It's worth more than gold. Second, condition matters. If you find one of these pennies in pristine condition, you're looking at a potential fortune. The more well-preserved the coin, the higher the value. It's like finding an antique piece of furniture. The better the condition, the more it's worth. Finally, there's the timing. A lot of people don't realize this, but certain coins become more valuable as time passes. It's simple economics, scarcity and demand. As fewer of these coins remain in circulation, their value continues to skyrocket. And if you're sitting there thinking, but I've got a jar full of pennies in my basement, well, I've got news for you, it's time to go through them. Who knew those decades-old pennies could be your ticket to a new lifestyle? Not every 1967 penny without a mint mark is worth millions. How can you tell if you've got the real deal? Stick around, because in the next section, I'll show you how to check for yourself and what makes this penny so special. Alright, you've made it this far. You're excited. Maybe a little nervous. You want to know how to tell if that penny you've been carrying around is worth the fortune everyone's talking about. The 1967 penny should be a memorial design, with Lincoln's image on one side and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. That's the first step, get familiar with the design. If there's no mint mark, it could be one of the rare ones. But not all pennies from 1967 are missing the mint mark. In fact, the vast majority of them have it. So, it's about finding that rare exception. Just like I mentioned earlier, the condition of the coin matters. If it's been sitting around in your pocket for years, chances are it's not in mint condition. But if you happen to find one in great shape, you might be sitting on a small fortune. These rare pennies are being snapped up by collectors and dealers every single day. If you don't act quickly, someone else might grab your coin. So, what are you waiting for? Get out there and start checking your spare change. Your next big break could be just a penny away. But what if you find a 1967 penny that seems perfect and it still isn't worth the millions we've been talking about? What are the other key factors that influence a coin's value? The real secret, my friend, might surprise you. Stay tuned for that answer. Now, I know you're probably sitting there thinking, what's next? How do I cash in on this opportunity? Well, here's the deal, there's a thriving market for rare pennies like the 1967 Memorial no mint mark. But it's all about finding the right buyers and knowing when to sell. If you want to dive deeper into the world of rare coins and maximize your profits, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Keep those pennies and coins in a safe place because you never know which one might be your ticket to living the life you've always dreamed of. Those rare coins aren't going to wait for you forever. The sooner you act, the closer you'll be to that wealthy lifestyle you've been working for. Got a coin you think might be worth something? Let me know in the comments. Who knows, it could be the next rare gem we talk about. Stay tuned for more, and until then, keep your eyes on those pennies. Imagine you've got an old penny, sitting in a dusty drawer, maybe forgotten for decades. But what if I told you that coin could be worth millions? Yes, millions. And I'm not talking about some magical wish, it's a real opportunity that could change your life forever. Stick around, because in the next 40 minutes, I'm going to take you on a journey to uncover a rare gem in the world of coin collecting, the 1965 Memorial no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, valued at up to $1.9 million. Sounds too good to be true? Well, keep watching to find out how this coin could be your ticket to a life of wealth and freedom. Let's rewind to 1965, a year that seemed like just another year. But behind the scenes, something remarkable was happening at the US Mint. During this time, pennies were being minted without a mint mark, and this tiny detail turned out to be the game changer. Why? Because it was a rare, unexpected error that many didn't even notice at the time. Now, think about it. We've all seen pennies lying around. They're everywhere, right? But what if one of those pennies, tucked away in a forgotten drawer, was the key to unlocking your financial freedom? What if, instead of throwing it in a jar or using it to buy a soda, you could sell it for a fortune? So, here's where it gets interesting, those 1965 Memorial pennies without a mint mark can sell for as much as $1.9 million. Yes, you heard that right. But you're probably thinking, I've got a 1965 penny, but I haven't seen any million-dollar offers. And that's the catch. It's not just about having a 1965 penny, it's about finding one that's in exceptional condition, a coin that stands out from the rest. Now, I bet you're wondering, how in the world do I know if my 1965 penny is one of those million-dollar coins? Well, here's the thing, not every penny from 1965 is worth a fortune. But those few, those rare finds, could be worth more than you've ever imagined. You're probably sitting there, staring at your coins right now, ready to examine each one with newfound excitement. You may even feel a little nervous. What if yours is the one? What if this is the moment you've been waiting for? The hunt for valuable coins is an adventure, one that requires patience, persistence, and a keen eye. But before you get too eager, let's talk about what exactly makes these 1965 memorial pennies so valuable. It's all about their unique characteristics. First, we have the fact that these coins were minted without a mint mark, a rare occurrence in the 1960s, especially considering how much effort goes into minting coins correctly. Without a mint mark, it means the penny came from a unique batch, and that rarity is what adds value. Think of it like finding a rare, vintage watch that's been sitting in someone's attic for decades. It's not just old, it's exceptional, not so much. But a 1965 memorial penny in mint or near mint condition could sell for astronomical amounts, depending on the buyer. In fact, you could be looking at anywhere between $500,000 and $1.9 million for the right coin. So, what makes a penny in mint condition so valuable? What exactly do you need to look for to know if your penny is one of the rare, money-making ones? Hang tight, because I'll reveal the exact signs and steps you need to take in just a moment. By now, you're probably starting to feel the excitement building. But here's where you need to take action. How can you turn that ordinary-looking penny into $1 million opportunity? Well, it all comes down to knowing what to do next. First, you'll need to get your hands on a magnifying glass, or better yet, a jeweler's loupe. Start inspecting the penny closely. The key features you want to check are the condition of the coin's surface, the details of the Lincoln Memorial, and, of course, the absence of a mint mark. If you see any wear and tear, you might want to think twice about its value. Next, you'll want to check out the provenance. A penny with a known, documented history can fetch a higher price, especially if it's linked to a famous collection or event. But even if your coin is unprovenanced, it can still be incredibly valuable if it's in great shape and has the characteristics of a rare 1965 no mint mark penny. And here's where you have to be careful: there are fakes out there. Scammers and counterfeiters are always looking for ways to dupe people into thinking they have a valuable coin when, in fact, it's worth next to nothing. That's why it's critical to get your coin authenticated by a professional grader. Grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, are trusted in the industry. These experts will assess the coin's authenticity and provide a grade that can help determine its market value. That's a lot of work. Why not just sell the coin as is and hope for the best? The truth is, you might be tempted to rush the process, but if you want top dollar for your coin, you've got to take your time. This is your chance to make a decision that could set you up for financial success. One mistake, and you could be leaving money on the table. And speaking of leaving money on the table, what if you didn't just sell it to any old buyer? What if you could auction it off to the highest bidder? What kind of price could you be looking at? Stick with me, because I'm going to tell you exactly how to sell your 1965 penny for its maximum worth. Alright, here's the final piece of the puzzle: selling your coin. You've done the hard work of finding it, authenticating it, and confirming its worth. Now it's time to cash in. There are a few different routes you can take to sell your coin. First, you could list it on online auction sites like eBay. This could get you some quick action, but it also comes with risks, like fees, and the potential for scammers. If you want to make sure you're getting top dollar, you might want to consider selling at a reputable coin auction. These events attract serious buyers who know the true value of rare coins, and they're willing to pay for quality. Another option is to work with a professional coin dealer, someone who can negotiate the best price for you. But remember, not all dealers are created equal. You want someone who understands the rarity of a 1965 memorial no mint mark penny and will advocate for your financial success. It's about taking control of your life and your future. Whether you're looking to live a more comfortable lifestyle, travel the world, or invest in something that can change your future, that 1965 penny could be the ticket. So, don't wait any longer. Check your change, grab your magnifying glass, and get started on the road to potentially becoming a millionaire. This could be your moment, don't let it slip away. If you've got a 1965 memorial penny or any other rare coins lying around, now's the time to take action. Don't let them gather dust. Like this video, share it with a friend who might have that golden penny, and subscribe for more insider tips on how to turn your old coins into a fortune. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that's worth a fortune, a piece of history sitting right there in your palm. Sounds too good to be true, right? But what if I told you that a 1963 Memorial Lincoln penny, something that most of us have likely tossed aside, is worth a staggering $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you might just find out you're sitting on a goldmine and you didn't even know it. Let's get into the story of the 1963 Memorial No Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Now, when we talk about pennies, most people think of them as being, well, just pennies. After all, they're so small and seemingly insignificant, right? But here's where things get interesting: not all pennies are created equal. In fact, a small group of pennies is worth way more than their weight in copper. The 1963 Memorial penny is a prime example. It's an unassuming coin, right? You've probably got a few of them lying around in your collection or even tucked away in a jar somewhere. But there's one crucial detail that makes these pennies incredibly rare and valuable: the absence of a mint mark. See, back in 1963, the US Mint made a small number of pennies without the traditional mint mark, the DRS that tells you where the coin was minted. Most of the time, if you find a coin like that, it's just a minor curiosity. But this one? This is a treasure. It's the kind of coin that could end up making you a fortune. Let's face it, when you hear penny, you're probably thinking about the change you find between the couch cushions or that penny that's been in your car's cup holder since, well, who knows when. But what if I told you that this little guy could change your life? Sounds like a plot twist, right? But hang on, this story gets even better. Okay, let's dive deeper into why this penny is so rare and valuable. The 1963 Memorial penny without a mint mark is a product of an unusual and, frankly, mysterious mistake at the US Mint. These coins, for reasons we're still not entirely sure about, slipped through the cracks and made it into circulation without the mint mark. There's just a few without the mint mark, big deal. But that's where the real value comes in. You see, coins like these are what numismatists, those are the fancy people who study coins, call errors or varieties. And error coins? Well, they're highly sought after. There aren't many of these error pennies out there. Not many were made, and even fewer have survived the years in good condition. So when one does pop up, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. And trust me, if you find one of these, you could be sitting on an absolute jackpot. Would you even know what you had in your hands? What steps would you take next? And how much could it really be worth? Well, hang tight because I'm going to reveal exactly how to identify if your penny could be worth $1 million, but that's coming up in just a bit. Alright, so now you're probably wondering, how do I know if my penny is the real deal? It's simple, really. First, you need to check the date, 1963, of course. Then, the big tell, no mint mark. Take a magnifying glass and look closely at the area where the mint mark should be, right under the Liberty on the obverse. If it's missing, you might just have a goldmine on your hands. Next, condition matters. Coins in mint condition, no pun intended, will fetch far higher prices. You want your coin to have minimal wear and tear. A penny that looks like it's been through a few wars might not fetch much, but one with little to no scratches, dings, or fading? Now we're talking serious value. Once you've got the coin and confirmed that it's in great condition, the next step is crucial: selling it. Don't just run off to your local coin shop, thinking they'll give you top dollar. That's where a lot of people get taken advantage of. Instead, I recommend taking your coin to a professional numismatist, or even better, auctioning it off at a reputable coin auction. Trust me, you could be staring at a 6-figure or even 7-figure payday. Timing is everything. Coin markets fluctuate, and the demand for error coins like this one can rise and fall. Right now, we're seeing a surge in interest in rare pennies, which means your 1963 Memorial No Mint Mark Lincoln penny could very well sell for the $1 million range, or more. And let's be real, wouldn't it be nice to wake up one morning, open your drawer, and realize that your old penny jar just became your retirement fund? Maybe it's time to start treating your change with a little more respect, huh? Before you rush off to check your coin collection, there's one crucial mistake you might be making when selling these rare pennies. Stay tuned, because I'll reveal what you absolutely must avoid to ensure you get the maximum value for your treasure. So, we've covered how to identify your potential $1 million coin, and why these pennies are so valuable. But here's the thing, not every 1963 penny is worth $1 million. Some are worth far less. It all depends on a few key factors, and understanding those can make the difference between getting a solid payday or walking away with a disappointment. Let's break that down next. When it comes to rare coins like this, it's all about the details. You need to know your coin's true value, and sometimes that means getting a second or third opinion from a trusted expert. If you're serious about selling, make sure you have documentation of the coin's authenticity, its condition, and any appraisals. The more evidence you have backing up the coin's value, the higher the chances you'll get top dollar. But here's the part that could make or break your deal: do not sell in a rush. Sure, you might be excited and ready to cash out, but a rush job could cost you big time. Take the time to research and connect with collectors or auctions who specialize in high-value coins. If you have a 1963 penny and you're considering selling it, make sure you're patient. The coin market can be unpredictable, but if you play it right, you could make more than you ever imagined. Don't settle for less than what you deserve. And now, for the final piece of the puzzle, the one thing that could turn your rare penny into millions. Stay with me just a bit longer to discover the secret that most collectors and sellers never tell you about. This is a game changer. By now, you should have a much clearer understanding of why that humble 1963 Memorial No Mint Mark Lincoln penny could be worth so much, and how you can cash in on it. The penny sitting in your drawer might just be the ticket to a wealthier future. But remember, knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you can earn. So before you let that penny slip through your fingers, take a moment to really think about its potential. Thank you for watching, and if you're ready to dive into more rare coin treasures, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with others who might have a hidden fortune lying around. Stay sharp, stay informed, and as always, keep collecting. Who knows? You could be the next millionaire from a 1963 penny. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that can make you richer than you ever imagined. Today, we're diving into a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket change right now, the 2009 Lincoln Memorial Penny, also known as the Formative Years Indiana coin. Yeah, you heard that right. One of these babies is worth a whopping $1.8 million. You might want to grab your change jar for this one. Alright, let's set the stage. It's 2009. You're probably grooving to Boom Boom Pow by the Black Eyed Peas, and maybe you just bought a brand new flip phone because, touchscreen phones were still for the fancy folks. Meanwhile, the US Mint was out here minting pennies that would someday make collectors lose their minds. So, what makes this particular 2009 Lincoln Memorial penny so valuable? It's all about the details. You see, 2009 was a special year for Lincoln pennies because it marked Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent. To celebrate, the US Mint released 4 different penny designs, each highlighting a significant chapter in Lincoln's life. The one we're focusing on today is the Formative Years penny. On the reverse side, you'll see young Abraham Lincoln sitting on a log, studying a book, and looking like he's about to drop the most epic mixtape of the 19th century. But don't let the humble log fool you, this penny is a game changer. Here's the kicker. The rare and valuable version of this penny has a unique error, an extra finger or thumb on Lincoln's hand. Yeah, Honest Abe's got a bit of a mutant vibe going on here. Because of this striking error, collectors have been known to pay top dollar for this coin. And by top dollar, I mean $1.8 million. Imagine paying your rent with a single penny. Mind-blowing, right? So, funny story, I'm rummaging through my car cup holder one day, looking for a quarter to feed a stubborn parking meter. I pull out this crusty old penny and think, ugh, just my luck. But wait, something about it looked off. I squinted, leaned closer, and almost gave myself a crick in the neck. Yep, it was one of those 2009 formative years pennies. Spoiler alert, mine didn't have the extra finger. Back to feeding the meter and not buying a yacht. If you're feeling lucky and want to go treasure hunting, check your 2009 pennies. Look for the Indiana design on the back. Then, whip out a magnifying glass and inspect Abe's hands like you're Sherlock Holmes of the coin world. If you spot that extra finger, well, congratulations. You might just be a millionaire. It's all about rarity and errors. When something is printed wrong, especially in coins, collectors go nuts for it. Plus, because it's linked to Lincoln's legacy in that iconic year, it's a piece of history as well as a potential goldmine. Alright folks, if you've got one of these rare pennies, don't just spend it on a soda. Get it appraised. And if you're like me and didn't hit the jackpot with your penny, don't worry, there are plenty more valuable coins out there waiting to be found. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more coin hunting tips and tricks. You never know, the next video might just make you a millionaire. A close-up shot of a 1985 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln penny slowly rotating on a dark, moody background. The camera zooms in on the details of the coin, emphasizing its rare features. You're holding a penny in your hand, something that most people would throw away without a second thought. But what if I told you that penny, this very penny, could change your life forever? Now, hold on to that thought. Because what I'm about to reveal will shock you. The 1985 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin you may have lying around in a drawer or tucked away in an old coin jar, is worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, millions. Cut to a powerful visual of a man sitting at a desk, looking at the coin with disbelief, his face full of excitement as the camera slowly zooms in on his shocked expression. Right now, there are people just like you, in the US, unknowingly sitting on a small fortune, and they don't even realize it. This specific penny, one that's seen decades of wear and tear, is not just a relic of the past. It's a ticket to living the life you've always dreamed of. But here's the catch, this discovery is rare. If you've got one, you might be sitting on up to $1.1 million. Yes, you're not hearing things. Keep watching to find out if you've got one of these hidden treasures yourself, and how you can turn this coin into a fortune. But first, let's dive into why this penny holds such extraordinary value. Cut to visuals of pennies laid out on a table, various coins with close-ups of wear patterns and mint marks. Transition to a serious tone with focused music. Alright, let's break it down. The 1985 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny wasn't initially seen as anything extraordinary when it was minted. It was part of the regular circulation that millions of people used every day. In fact, many of you watching this right now might have tossed one of these coins into a jar of change decades ago, thinking nothing of it. But what makes this penny so special? Let's talk about rarity for a moment. Out of the billions of pennies made that year, only a select few have characteristics that make them so valuable. And here's where things get interesting, the key to its worth lies in the specific features of the coin, combined with its overall condition and, of course, the mint mark. The D Mint mark on the 1985 penny signifies that it was minted in Denver. But not just any Denver minted penny, this one has a subtle error in the manufacturing process, which makes it extremely rare. Only a handful of these coins with this specific flaw have survived in mint condition. The rare characteristics, paired with its incredible rarity, make this penny a collector's dream. But here's where the emotional trigger comes in. Imagine being one of the few who actually has one of these coins. Right now, you're sitting on a goldmine, but most people are clueless about what they've got. You could be one of those lucky individuals who finds this out too late, or worse, you could be the one to miss the window of opportunity to sell while the demand is sky high. You might be asking yourself, why is this penny worth so much? It's just a penny, right? Well, let me tell you, every collector and investor in the coin world knows that value isn't always about the size or weight of a coin. It's about the rarity, the story, and the people willing to pay a premium for it. Coin collectors have been hunting for the 1985 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln penny for years. They know exactly what to look for, and they're willing to pay top dollar for it. But here's the kicker, if you don't act now, you could miss the chance to cash in on your discovery. Cut to a scene of a man looking frustrated as he searches for coins online, realizing how high the demand is. Time is of the essence, and the longer you wait to confirm whether you have this coin, the more you risk losing out. But don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to check for this rare mint mark, and how to get your hands on potentially millions of dollars. The camera cuts to a wide shot of a man confidently holding a magnifying glass, inspecting his coin under a light, his eyes wide in awe. Let's talk about how you can cash in on this rare find. If you've got a 1985 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, there are a few simple ways to check its authenticity and value. First, use a magnifying glass, make sure the D Mint mark is clearly visible and well defined. Look for any anomalies in the coin's features that could indicate it's part of the rare group that's fetching up to $1.1 million on the market. Second, the condition of the coin matters. Is it in near-perfect shape? Does it show signs of excessive wear or damage? The better the condition, the higher the price you can ask for. It's all about making sure the coin stands out from the crowd. But don't stop there. If you believe you have this coin, get it professionally appraised. An expert in coin grading will be able to give you an accurate estimate of its value and authenticity. This is an important step, especially if you plan on selling it for top dollar. Cut to an image of someone selling a coin to a reputable dealer, shaking hands and smiling with excitement. What should you do next? If you've got a penny worth millions, don't just sit on it. You've got options. You can sell it at an auction, where collectors around the world will bid on it. You can also sell it privately to dealers or collectors who specialize in rare coins. But here's the catch: don't wait. The longer you delay, the higher the risk of someone else getting their hands on it first. The clock is ticking. So, let's wrap this up. If you've got a 1985 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, you have the chance to transform your financial future. Whether you decide to sell it now or hold on to it for a little longer, one thing's for sure: you're holding on to a piece of history that could bring you wealth beyond your wildest dreams. The camera zooms in on the penny again, this time with a slow fade out as dramatic music plays. You've heard the story. Now, it's up to you to take action. You could be just one coin away from unlocking the life you've always dreamed of, a life filled with freedom, luxury, and the kind of success you never thought possible. Now go check those jars of coins. Don't wait, time is running out. The opportunity to turn this penny into millions may not be here forever. So, what are you going to do next? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've got a coin like this, share your story with the community. Who knows? You could be the next one to cash in on this rare find, where the value of a single penny could be worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, a simple penny, a coin that many of us toss aside without a second thought, could be the ticket to your financial freedom. And I'm not talking about a few $100 here, but a staggering $1.2 million for a coin from 1968. If you're sitting on a collection of old pennies, there's a very real possibility that you've been unknowingly holding a treasure. But how do you identify such a coin? What's the secret to unlocking its immense value? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one, how to sell it, and how to start living the life of your dreams. So, what makes the 1968 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny so valuable? Let's take a journey back to 1968, a year of major change in the United States. The country was in the midst of significant social and political shifts. While the world was changing, the U.S. Mint was quietly producing a series of coins that would, decades later, skyrocket in value. Among them was the Lincoln Memorial Penny, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, but hides extraordinary worth for those who know what to look for. The 1968 D Mint mark is the key. This particular penny was minted in Denver, and it's part of a limited series that wasn't produced in massive quantities. But there's a catch: while most of these coins circulate at face value, there are a select few in pristine condition, ones that have escaped the clutches of time, wear, and damage. These well-preserved pennies are the ones that are worth a fortune today. Are you wondering if one of those coins is sitting in your collection right now? Well, stick around because I'm about to share how you can identify this coin and start your journey toward a fortune. These rare pennies don't just pop up everywhere. You have to know exactly what to look for. You've probably heard the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, that couldn't be truer in the world of coin collecting, where the smallest detail can mean the difference between a $1 penny and a $1.2 million treasure. And don't worry, I'm going to reveal the secrets, but you'll need to stay with me, because the biggest surprises are yet to come. And now, let's dive into the details. The 1968 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is highly valuable if it meets specific criteria. First, the coin must be in exceptional condition. We're talking about pennies that are nearly flawless. That means no scratches, no discoloration, no signs of heavy wear. These pennies are rare because most circulated coins get damaged over time. Condition alone isn't enough. It's also about the exact type of error or misprint that makes certain pennies stand out. Yes, error coins exist, and some can dramatically increase the value of a coin. A slight mistake in the minting process can turn a regular penny into a priceless artifact. So, how do you identify a potential error coin in the 1968 series? Look closely at the coin's features. Pay attention to the sharpness of the design, particularly around the memorial building on the reverse. If you spot a coin where the features are unusually well defined, it's a good sign that it could be worth more than just its face value. And if you spot a rare error, the value could be astronomical. Imagine finding a penny in your collection that's worth more than your car, your house, or even a vacation to your dream destination. Pretty exciting, right? But wait, there's more. These coins aren't just valuable because they are in great condition. The true value comes from how few of them exist in that condition. The 1968 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln pennies, in excellent shape, are so rare that only a handful are ever up for auction at any given time. Do you have one of them? There's only one way to find out now. You might be wondering, how do I even go about selling one of these coins if I find it? Hold on to that thought, because in just a few minutes, I'll reveal how to turn that single penny into a small fortune, but there's a catch. If you don't take the right steps, you could lose out on tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine you've just found a 1968 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln penny in perfect condition. What now? The key to unlocking the full value of your coin is finding the right buyer. You don't want to just sell it to anyone. You need to get it into the hands of a serious collector, someone who knows exactly what they're looking for. The first step is to get the coin professionally graded. This is crucial. A grading service will evaluate the coin's condition, rarity, and authenticity. Coins that are graded with a high score, like MS65 or higher, will fetch the highest prices. Without grading, you may not be able to prove the value of your coin, and you could end up selling it for far less than it's worth. Once your coin is graded, it's time to find the right marketplace. There are several avenues you can explore, from coin dealers to online auctions. But remember, not all markets are created equal. Some buyers may undervalue your coin just to make a quick buck. To maximize your profit, you need to find the right auction house or an elite dealer who specializes in rare coins. When you do, you're not just selling a penny, you're selling an investment, a piece of history, and a ticket to a new lifestyle. The market for rare coins is competitive, and demand is growing. The longer you wait, the greater the risk that someone else will scoop up your coin for a fraction of its worth. So, if you've got one of these rare pennies, don't wait for tomorrow. The sooner you take action, the sooner you'll be on your way to a life of luxury and financial security. A hidden trick that very few people know about. Stay with me because in just a few minutes, I'm going to share that secret, and trust me, it could change everything for you. Take a closer look at your penny jar, dig through those old coin collections, and start looking for that 1968 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln penny that could make you a millionaire. But remember, the clock is ticking, and the market is only getting hotter. If you find one of these rare coins, get it graded, sell it to the right buyer, and you could be living a life of wealth and success beyond your wildest dreams. If you enjoyed this video and learned something valuable, don't forget to hit that like button, share this with your friends, and subscribe to stay updated on more rare coin finds and tips for living your best, wealthiest life. Imagine holding in your hand a simple, unassuming penny, something you'd toss into a jar or leave in your car's cup holder. Now, picture that very penny being worth millions. Yes, millions. You heard that right. And it's not just a dream. It's the real story of the 1964 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Keep watching, because in just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you how this unassuming coin could change your life forever. But first, let's take a quick journey together. We've all heard stories about people who stumble upon hidden treasures, right? Most of us think it's pure luck, something that happens to other people. But what if I told you that with just a little knowledge, a keen eye, and a touch of persistence, you could be the next person to cash in on a rare find worth over $1 million? That's right, I'm talking about the 1964 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. And if you're holding one, your life could be on the brink of a major change. Let me break it down for you. The 1964 Lincoln penny, the one you're probably overlooking, is not your average coin. It has a unique combination of factors: rarity, demand, and historical significance that make it worth an eye-watering $1.3 million. No, this is not a typo. There are collectors out there who would pay that much for this penny, and we're going to dive into why.so. What makes the 1964 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln penny so valuable? Let's take a closer look at its story. In 1964, the U.S. Mint produced a batch of pennies, but there was a special group of coins that didn't make it to the public as intended. It's like they slipped through the cracks of history and ended up hidden away in collections or tucked into the back of drawers for decades. And here's the kicker: they're so rare that the demand has skyrocketed, and now, they're worth millions. But here's where things get interesting: finding one of these pennies isn't as simple as walking into a coin store and buying it. Oh no, it's about patience, skill, and knowing exactly what to look for. These rare pennies don't just show up every day, and the ones that are out there are fiercely sought after. You need to know what you're doing if you're going to spot one, and how to sell it at its peak value. Imagine this for a moment. You're at home, casually flipping through a box of coins that you've collected over the years. Most of them are just everyday pennies, some might even be a little dirty. But then, you come across that one. The 1964 Memorial D Mint Mark. You hold it up in the light. There's something about it. It doesn't look like the others. It's different. And in that instant, you realize that you could be holding a fortune in your hands. Well, here's where you need to pay attention. The key characteristics of this coin go beyond just the date or mint mark. There are subtle yet important details to look for, such as the sharpness of the details and the condition of the coin. But don't worry, I'm going to guide you through the specifics so you'll know exactly what to look for. If you're wondering how rare these pennies really are, the numbers speak for themselves. Out of the millions of coins produced in 1964, only a select few carry that Memorial D Mint mark, and even fewer are in mint condition, making them highly prized by collectors. This is a true needle in a haystack scenario, and that's why the value of these coins is rising faster than a rocket, because not only is finding one rare, but the competition is fierce. If you think you can just stumble upon one and get rich overnight, think again. You'll have to be fast when the opportunities arise. These pennies are bought and sold in auctions, online marketplaces, and even at coin shows, where the demand is through the roof, but don't let that scare you. This is a chance for you to get in on something that could change your financial future. And I'll show you exactly how to position yourself to sell these rare pennies for top dollar. Let me hit you with some cold, hard facts. The current market value of the 1964 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is sitting at a staggering $1.3 million. And it's only going up. This is the time to act. Right now, millions of dollars are changing hands as collectors and investors scramble to grab up these rare pennies. If you're serious about selling old and rare coins, now is the time to step up and make your move. Finding these rare pennies and cashing in on them isn't something that will just fall into your lap. This is a game of knowledge, timing, and persistence. And you need to be prepared to take action when the opportunity arises. That's why I'm giving you the tools to succeed. From understanding how to authenticate these pennies to knowing the best places to sell them, I've got you covered. But you need to move fast, because, as you know, in the world of rare coin collecting, the early bird gets the worm. There are people out there just waiting for a coin like this to come into their hands. If you think you've missed your shot, think again. The market for rare coins is constantly evolving, and more of these pennies are still out there, waiting for someone like you to discover them. You have the power to unlock a potential fortune, and the clock is ticking. Will you let this opportunity pass you by, or will you seize it and change your life? As we wrap up, I want you to keep this in mind: the 1964 Memorial D Mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a piece of history, it's your chance to change your financial future. And in the world of rare coins, one discovery could be all it takes. So, are you ready to start your journey toward wealth? Stay tuned for more insider tips and strategies on how to find and sell rare pennies, because this story is far from over. I've got more valuable secrets to share with you in the next video. Imagine finding a small coin tucked away in a box, a penny you may have overlooked for years. Something so unassuming, it could easily slip through your fingers without a second thought. But here's the kicker, this humble penny could be worth millions. Yes, you heard me right. This is not a fantasy, it's reality, an investment hiding in plain sight. Could that old penny you've been ignoring be worth $1.4 million today? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to turn that forgotten penny into a fortune. Let me take you back to 1982, when this penny was minted. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny, the familiar memorial design on the reverse and Lincoln's face on the front. But here's where things get interesting. Most people don't know this, but there was something unique about the 1982 memorial no-mint mark penny. While the majority of the pennies from that year were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, most of them bear a small P mint mark. However, some didn't. These coins, struck without a mint mark, are exceptionally rare. In fact, only a few of them exist, making them incredibly valuable today. And when I say valuable, I'm not talking about a few bucks. We're talking $1.4 million in today's market. So, how did this seemingly average coin skyrocket to such an incredible value? The answer lies in rarity and demand. These pennies, like a hidden treasure, have eluded the eyes of most collectors and investors. Imagine finding one at the bottom of your drawer, tucked in between old receipts and dusty coins, just waiting for you to unlock its true worth. Time is of the essence. Each day that passes, fewer and fewer of these coins remain in circulation. And as they disappear, the value only increases. So, what's the likelihood that you're holding one of these rare pennies right now? We'll get into that shortly, but first, let's explore why this penny has reached such astronomical heights in the market. Now, let's talk about the market. The coin industry is no stranger to dramatic surges in value, but the 1982 memorial no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a phenomenon in itself. Over the last decade, its market value has skyrocketed. Why? Because collectors, investors, and enthusiasts have wisened up to the rarity of this coin, but it's not just the rarity that drives the price, it's the sheer excitement and frenzy surrounding it. Picture this, you've got your hands on one of these pennies. What do you do next? Hold on tight, because I'm about to tell you why selling it now could be your golden ticket. Here's the thing. The coin market is not stagnant. It's a living, breathing ecosystem where rare coins can be snapped up at a moment's notice. The excitement? It's palpable. The demand for these rare pennies has been growing steadily, and there's no slowing down. But just as with any valuable commodity, there's a catch. Once these coins are bought and locked away in private collections, they are nearly impossible to find again. The window to sell is narrowing. You may be thinking, well, I'll just wait for the market to mature. But here's the problem with that. As more people become aware of this coin's value, the more competition you'll face. Prices could shoot up even higher, yes, but that could take years. And in a world where things change rapidly, who knows what will happen by then? The time to act is now. You're at a yard sale, looking through a box of coins. Someone else snatches up that precious penny, your precious penny, before you can even blink. Just like that, it's gone. The opportunity is lost. You've heard of people cashing in on rare coins, haven't you? The question is, will it be you? Or will you be left in the dust, watching someone else drive off into the sunset in their shiny new car, paid for by the penny you could have had in your pocket? Now, I know you're wondering, how can I find out if I have one of these rare pennies? Here's where the story gets personal. If you have a 1982 penny without a mint mark, you've got a ticket to the big leagues. But you need to know how to identify it, and you need to act fast. Take a moment. Go ahead, check your pockets, your drawers, that jar of coins you've been neglecting. Are you holding a potential $1.4 million in your hand? Or do you know someone who might be sitting on this hidden gem? I'm going to guide you through the process of verifying whether your coin is the real deal, and what steps to take next. But let me be clear, this isn't for the faint of heart. The opportunity to sell these rare pennies won't last forever. The time to act is now, before that penny slips out of your hands and into someone else's fortune. In the next part of the video, I'm going to show you exactly how to verify your coin and how you can take steps to sell it for top dollar. But, here's the catch, this information won't be available forever. If you want to learn how to cash in, stay tuned. Your future just might depend on this. Imagine finding a coin that's worth over $1 million, just sitting there, collecting dust in your pocket. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it's not. The 1966 memorial no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny has been quietly hiding in plain sight for decades. And it's worth $1.5 million. That's right, a single penny worth millions of dollars. Now, don't rush off to check every penny in your collection just yet, because the real question is, could your pennies be worth a fortune, too? Stick around. You won't want to miss what I'm about to reveal. So, you've got a jar of old pennies sitting on your shelf, gathering dust. Maybe it's from a grandparent, or you just forgot about it after collecting for years. But here's the catch, you could be sitting on a small fortune. What if I told you that some of those pennies, even ones that seem like a dime a dozen, could be worth millions? And if you're wondering, how can I know if I've got one of those rare pennies? Well, you're about to find out. But first, let's take a deep dive into one specific penny that's worth an eye-watering $1.50 million. Let's set the stage. Back in 1966, the US Mint was producing billions of pennies. And in those billions, one particular variety slipped through the cracks. The 1966 memorial penny, without a mint mark, was accidentally released into circulation. And guess what? That one tiny, rare error has sent collectors into a frenzy. You'd never think it's valuable. I mean, you look at it, and it's just a penny, small, dull, and pretty ordinary, right? Well, I'll tell you what, this penny is far from ordinary. Hold on a second. You're telling me that one penny is worth $1.5 million? Is that even possible? Absolutely. Stick with me here, because this gets better. In 1965, the US Mint stopped putting mint marks on pennies because they didn't think they needed them anymore. But in 1966, an unexpected number of Lincoln Memorial pennies were produced without the mint mark, a rare and unintentional mistake. Now, most of those pennies were quickly used up or forgotten about. But if you happen to have one of these rare, unmarked pennies in your collection, you've got yourself a small treasure. Imagine the excitement of realizing your penny is more than just pocket change. You know, that heart-stopping moment when you realize it could be worth more than your car, or maybe even your house. That's exactly the kind of feeling you'll get when you discover that you might own one of these $1.5 million pennies, but here's where it gets real. The chance of you finding one of these rare pennies might feel like winning the lottery. But let me tell you, the odds are more favorable than you think. This is not a fantasy. This could be your reality. So how do you know if your penny is the real deal? Well, it's all in the details. The most important thing to look for is the lack of a mint mark. Normally, pennies have a D4 Denver or an S4 San Francisco. But if you've got a 1966 penny with nothing, no mint mark, you might be holding a gold mine. It could be that simple. Don't worry, I'm getting there. First, take a look at the penny and check the date. If it's 1966 with no mint mark, it's time to get excited. But that's not the whole picture. Now, here's where the real trick comes in. It's not just about the date and the mint mark or the lack thereof. It's about the quality of the penny. These coins are rare because they were a mistake, and only a handful remain in good condition. The more pristine it is, the more it's worth, but here's where things get tricky. Not all 1966 pennies without a mint mark are worth millions. In fact, most are only worth a couple of dollars, if that. So, how do you separate the valuable ones from the worthless ones? Well, that's what I'm about to reveal next, and trust me, you'll want to know this. And now, let's talk about turning that rare penny into cold, hard cash. The market for rare coins is massive. Every year, collectors and investors pay top dollar for these unique pieces. The catch, however, is knowing exactly how to navigate this market. If you're sitting on one of these pennies, time is of the essence. The longer you wait, the more the value can fluctuate, depending on the demand. And believe me, demand for these rare pennies is high, especially now that people are finally starting to notice their value. The sooner you act, the sooner you could be cashing in. The first step to cashing in on your 1966 Memorial No Mint Mark Lincoln penny is getting it professionally appraised. Don't just take someone's word for it. A qualified numismatist can help you figure out if your penny is worth the millions or if it's just a regular 1966 penny that happens to be in your jar. And before you even think about running off to sell it to the nearest pawn shop or online auction, stop. You could be selling your fortune for a fraction of its real value. Be careful and make sure you're working with someone who knows their stuff now. Let's say you sell your penny for $1.5 million. What does that look like for you? A brand new house? A car that you've always dreamed of? Travel, investments, or maybe a lifestyle of luxury and financial freedom. All of that becomes possible with just one simple discovery. But wait, I'm not done yet. I'm about to give you the one secret that most people miss when trying to sell their rare coins. It's something that could make or break your sale, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Now that you know about the 1966 Memorial No Mint Mark Lincoln penny, it's time to get serious. Could this penny be worth millions of dollars? Absolutely. Could you be sitting on a hidden fortune? You bet. But time is ticking, and the market is constantly shifting. If you've got one of these rare pennies, make sure you know exactly what you're holding and act fast. Don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers. If you think you've got one of these rare pennies, get it appraised and make your move. Don't wait until it's too late, because someone else could cash in on your discovery. You could be just a phone call or a quick search away from living the life you've always dreamed of. Welcome, collectors, dreamers, and those with a sharp eye for history. What if I told you that a simple penny, something you've likely glanced over countless times in your pocket, could be worth over $1.6 million? That's right, today, we're diving deep into the hidden treasures of a specific 1984 Memorial No Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny that could turn your life upside down. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one, what makes it so valuable, and how it could be the key to living the lifestyle of your dreams. But wait, let me ask you something. Have you ever thrown a penny in the change jar, thinking it's just not worth much? What if I told you that jar might actually be sitting on a fortune? Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, buckle up, because by the end of this, you'll be looking at your spare change with a whole new perspective. You know that feeling when you find something that's been hiding in plain sight all along? It's like discovering a hidden room in your house that you never knew existed, an absolute game changer. Let's talk about the 1984 Memorial No Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, this coin isn't your average penny. It's got a story, and a fascinating one at that. Most people know that pennies come with mint marks, but what makes this one so special is the absence of that mint mark. You see, it was struck in 1984 at the Philadelphia Mint, but somehow, a small batch of these pennies ended up without the mint mark, and here's where the mystery thickens. The absence of a mint mark is what sends coin collectors into a frenzy. These pennies are incredibly rare, and rarity equals value. You may be wondering, how much value are we talking about here? Well, brace yourselves. These rare pennies have sold for up to $1.6 million. I know it sounds insane, but this isn't just a story from a faraway land. This is real, and it's happening right now. Let's pause for a moment and think about that. A penny. A single penny that could be sitting in your collection, in your spare change jar, or even in your wallet, waiting for you to find it. Doesn't that spark a little excitement? But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's go deeper into how this penny went from being just another coin to becoming one of the most sought-after treasures in numismatics. Now, I know what you're thinking. What makes this coin worth $1.6 million when I can find tons of pennies out there? Here's the deal, this isn't just any penny. This is a rare error coin, and those are gold in the coin collecting world. Error coins are a breed apart. They're like diamonds in the rough, something that shouldn't have happened during minting, but did, and that mistake, that anomaly, makes them incredibly valuable. To think about it, there's only one penny in your pocket right now that could be the 1984 Memorial No Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. But here's where the tension builds. There are only a few hundred of these pennies in existence, and that means they're in demand. If you find one, you're not just holding a piece of history. You're holding a rare commodity. And we all know rarity creates value. This is where you need to stay sharp. A mint mark on a coin typically tells you where it was produced. In this case, you should expect to see a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. However, these particular 1984 pennies came off the press without any mint mark at all. This slight oversight creates a massive price difference. While most 1984 pennies are worth a mere cent or two, these error coins? They're worth millions, but there's something even more exciting. It's not just about finding this one penny. There's a special group of collectors who actively search for this very penny, paying top dollar for it. This coin isn't just a piece of history, it's a ticket to wealth. The edge of your seat, it's time to address the big question: how do you find this coin? Well, don't worry. I'm not going to leave you hanging. To find this precious penny, you've got to be methodical and observant. And, yes, this is where you'll need to go through some change and probably spend a little time doing it. But remember, good things come to those who wait. Start by checking your 1984 pennies, especially the ones that might have been sitting around for years. Check the obverse side of the coin. The Lincoln Memorial design should be clear, and if you don't see a mint mark anywhere near the base of the memorial, congratulations, you might just have the golden ticket. Real value is in the condition. A penny that's been worn down from years of circulation won't fetch nearly as much. If you can find one that's in mint condition, you're sitting on a fortune. Sell it. But don't just sell it to anyone. Find the right buyers, auction houses, trusted dealers, and even private collectors who specialize in error coins. These are the individuals willing to pay top dollar for that perfect 1984 memorial no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Imagine what it would feel like to cash in on your find. You could pay off debts, travel the world, or even retire early and live the life you've always dreamed of. It's not just about finding a rare coin. It's about living life on your terms. And that is the ultimate treasure. This isn't an opportunity that lasts forever. Rare coins like this one are disappearing from circulation, and the prices are only going to rise. If you don't act now, you might miss out on your chance to secure your future. Take the knowledge you've just gained and start your search. Look through your pennies. Take a closer look at your collections. If you find a 1984 memorial no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, you could be holding onto a $1.6 million treasure, but remember, there are no guarantees in life. There's risk, excitement, and a chance to change your entire financial situation. Are you ready to make that leap? The opportunity is out there, but only if you're willing to go after it. I'm excited to see what treasures you discover. Don't let this slip by. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories that could change your life.